Let me ask you something too, Michael. Is, these ministers that we have today, how different are they than the people who? My point is, people who put on a white collar and who get on the radio, get on the web, get it on TV, and it's mostly evangelists that does this. But it's not just evangelists alone; it's from all different groups of the Protestant religions. But to put on a white collar and to extract and scam money from people, and I mean they get millions and millions of dollars, and these people, and then it's supposed to be given the Word of God, and a lot of them actually quote the Bible, and a lot of them even sounds like they're saying everything very correctly and sound very Christian, but they're not. Anytime that their goal is to get money from people, to extract money and to scam people for money, then it's difficult to believe a word that they say.
I'm sorry that that's being portrayed, because I know there's a lot of good, honest Christians out there who love the Lord and conduct themselves honorably.
That's one reason why, Michael, and I hope you don't cut this part out, but there's one reason why I'm going back to Judaism, because our rabbis, they don't do that sort of thing. They do not. There's never a word mentioned in any Jewish service about money. In fact, they don't even take up a collection. Nothing do they do like that. I mean, yes, they do have to have money to run their synagogues and to pay the bills, but people do that by sending in a donation to the synagogue. But there's no such thing as passing the plates, or in some cases, I've seen them actually pass buckets. I remember one church I went into in Times Square. In fact, it was David Wilkerson's church. They actually passed buckets, and they, you know what they said? They said, "Don't put anything in that bucket that jingles. We only want paper money."
That's a shame.
It is. But I've watched this over the years, and I mean, you had Tammy and Jim Baker and Oral Roberts and Jerry Falwell, and I mean, now we got this Joel Osteen down there in Texas. I mean, he's just raking in millions and millions of dollars with his false teachings, and you can see in his face just how satanic he is, even though he tries to appear this clean, good Christian man, always with a big, huge smile on his face, and his lovely wife, who, is so clean and so loving, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. He marries homosexuals, he condemns it, he condones it rather, he does not condemn it, he won't say a word about them. To be honest with you don't hear him say that much about Jesus Christ either.
No, it's a feel-good type of deal.
It's a spring hope type of meeting. It's not even really religious in a way.
Well, my fellow Christians out there, let's start praying for Robert Merritt, because it's quite evidently he's very turned off. I mean, he's been on the inside of these things. He's been with these church leaders and stuff like that, and he's totally turned off by it.
It's not just the gay mountain thing with pig in the blood, but I've been to all these other churches. I have been to the Times Square church. I have been to so many churches, from the Baptists to the Nazarenes to the Methodists to the evangelical temples and to all the rest. Every time I watch TV with these evangelical, not always evangelical, but some of these very conservative ministers, they put on, and it's always they're selling the book, selling the disc, asking for a donation. I've yet to see one that doesn't ask for anything. They always ask for something, or they're selling something. And if you're a true minister, why are you going to sell a disc to your people who are your congregants, or who you're trying to get to come to God? Why are you going to sell them a disc? Why are you going to sell them a book? And one thing that's really a turn-off too is, Michael, is why do these ministers have the nerve to take Holy Bible and to put their name on the outside of the Bible? You know, the Holy Bible, King James Version, and then at the very bottom, by Jerry Falwell. You know, what's his name doing in the Bible period? It's, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's total fraud. It's a scam. And they're using God's name to invoke all these things for the sake of just money. But you know, I've been on here telling the truth for several years. And yeah, I've gotten a couple of donations, but they've never exceeded more than a couple $100 for the whole year, that is.
Well, if I could speak up for your state right now, you got $10 for the rest of the month to get you through, and you don't know how you're going to make it.
Well, yes, yeah.
But, you know, if I didn't say that, it would never get out.
No.
So, Christian brothers and sisters, on this YouTube, there's his name and number, and if you'd like to do something for him, I would say he's heard enough preaching. He's heard enough Bible verses about Christ. You know, I think he just wants to see some people do something Christian, rather than talk about it.
And by the way, Michael, you're the one who mentioned the offering me help. I appreciate that, but I've never asked anybody for any money on any program, anything I have ever done. And I won't, because, you know, I want the truth to come out, and I'm only interested in nothing but the truth to come out.
Well, you know, this was not premeditated. You just mentioned that to me privately about your financial state this month, and this is September of 2015, and it just came out. He's risked his life. He's had attempts on his life for being outspoken, and right now he's in a bad state. But we'll go on from that. We don't have to continue with that, but it's true. It's true. And I can't speak for these other ministers. Robert's been around them. There are some good ministers out there that are preaching the gospel, but it seems like they just don't get the national recognition. And perhaps that's just because they have a very sanitized approach to homosexuality. We're not going to talk about what makes it so absolutely abominable before God. And that's the thing that is just not put out there. It's just homosexuality is wrong because you're, you know, a man and woman. But also it's demonic bondage side of this thing. Once you're in it, and I'm sure Robert can expand on this, once you're in it, I mean, there is a strong force to keep you in. There's a lust that builds in you, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it gets more perverse and perverse all the time, doesn't it, Robert?
Yeah, it does. It's like the first time that I ever knew anything about sex was when the two Catholic priests raped me when I was 13, 14 years old. And I say raped, but it happened over and over and over and over again. And, you know, after a while, you know, the rape turns to enjoyment. And that's how I got into the gay world. Is I thought, well, these two men have white collars around their necks. They belong to the most powerful religious organization on the face of this earth. I mean, the Pope has tremendous power. They got the most strongest wealth of any church in the world. I mean, the Vatican, I understand, in the basement is just stacked full of gold and cash. And these two priests were part of that. And what were they doing? They were performing oral sex on me. They made it sound like, you know, I'm supposed to be honored by the fact that these were Roman Catholic priests and that they were kneeling before me and putting their mouth on me. They called it the blessed kiss. And even one of them made a remark from the Bible talking about communion service. And he actually quoted a verse in the Bible that, "Whosoever eateth of my body shall have everlasting life." And he was taking it literally.
That is so profane and perverse.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine, Robert.
Yeah, yes. You know, to do it inside of the rectory of the church and over top of my head while he's having sex with me. There's a crucifix hanging up there with Christ on it, and he seemed just to ignore that. So,
sad commentary.
And I belong to an organization called SNAPS. I don't know what the letters stand for, but it's on the computer now. But it's only people who's been abused by Catholic priests. And people should look at that thing. How many people in this country, or in the world, has been raped and molested and assaulted by Catholic priests, even females for that matter too.